May I have the envelope, please? Thank you very much. And the winner of the GuyCon Lifetime Achievement Award from Spike TV, Hugh Hefner. And it could only happen on the Pat McMahon Show on AZTV. Listen, I don't feel as if I'm comfortable, Hugh, calling you Hef, because we haven't really palled around together. So is Hugh okay?
No, I'm not comfortable with Hugh. I haven't done that since childhood. You have to call me Hef.
Listen, with your permission, I absolutely will.
Or Your Majesty. Your Majesty's okay.
Well, now that you have been crowned by Spike TV for the Lifetime Achievement Award, now that's coming up Sunday at
10
on Spike TV. And boy,
Yep.
It looks to me like you've got everybody in the entire known free world on that award show.
It's true. Harrison Ford, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., and I got the Apple Mail Award.
Well, you have to be proud of that.
I got it right here.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. And handy, of
There
course,
it is.
to have on anybody's desk. I think you'd be proud to have it. You know, one of the awards that I remember most lovingly and affectionately is when I got my first Playboy Club key, when the Playboy Club opened here on North Central, and all of a sudden Phoenix, Arizona, was a relatively small city at that time. We had a Playboy Club, and I got a key.
Yep, I remember the opening.
And
I was there.
And the clubs themselves, you still have them.
Well, we opened the clubs were closed for many, many years, and we just opened the first one a year ago in Las Vegas at the Palms. It's a club casino.
And it's, from what I understand, it's a huge success. What do you think?
Huge success.
I want to talk to you about the magazine. I want to talk to you about the magazine, if I may, because over the years, this is the first chance that I've had to talk to you about this publishing phenomenon, Playboy magazine. What do you personally think that the magazine has accomplished since that first issue in 1953 that your competitors haven't accomplished?
Well, of course, to begin with, we were first, and then we took the high road. We've always been more than just a sex magazine. It's a classy magazine. It's a lifestyle magazine for young urban guys, and it came out at a time where, after the wars, in which most men's magazines in the early 50s were outdoor adventure books, and I took a more sophisticated direction in the magazine, and I think the magazine played a very real part in what came to be known as the sexual revolution and changing social sexual values, and I take great pride in that.
Well, as a young Catholic parochial school student who depended on his monthly issue of National Geographic before Playboy came out, I'm personally indebted to you. How about the changes in the magazine now over the years from 1953 to 2008?
Well, I think the magazine at its heart remains essentially the same. The changes have been evolutionary rather than revolutionary. It is sad to say that the newer generation has a shorter attention span, so our pieces are shorter than they used to be. There isn't as much politics as in the magazine as there was back in the 1960s and early 70s, but it's essentially the same magazine.
You have been the proponent of so much freedom, and I wondered when I was coming to the TV station today if you're anti-monogamy. When you see a happy couple and they've been happy together for years and years and years, perhaps like your parents back in Nebraska, do you think that's some kind of an old-fashioned value that doesn't have a place now in contemporary America?
I don't feel that at all. I'm not anti-monogamy. I simply think that people need choices. I think monogamy works for some people, but not for everybody. I think the majority of people wind up in some kind of form of sequential polygamy, but I think part of that is the fact that we live for a very long time. And in the early days, the average age of people used to be about 35. Now people live to be 80 and older, and I just think there are, different strokes for different folks. And I think that what I've tried to make a case for is the fact that sex has a moral purpose that goes beyond simply procreation. It has to do with love. It has to do with a great many other things. And I think that if we're going to live in a free society, freedom should certainly include that most personal decision of all, which is one's human sexuality.
I think a lot of people who are watching right now might be very surprised if they were invited to the Playboy Mansion. As a matter of fact, they might be very surprised if they were invited to the Playboy Mansion. But to find out that of all of the things that are allowed there, drugs are not among them. You're a big proponent of freedom. Does that include the freedom to smoke marijuana?
Well, my feeling is, quite frankly, that our prohibitions related to drug use are in many cases more harmful than the drugs themselves. But I am not pro-drugs. I am simply against the criminalization of the behavior. I think it's like alcohol and smoking cigarettes. I think people have a right to make their own choices.
We've only got a minute left, and we want to acknowledge the television show Girls Next Door. It's cute, it's clever, it's very much 2008, but I miss Playboy After Dark, I have to tell you.
Well, you're an old cat, and I understand that, and I miss it too. There's a wonderful, retro, cool nostalgia to that show, and it was wonderful in its time.
Well, in the time that we have right now, I have just enough time to remind everybody that you are talking about the Lifetime Achievement Awardee, Hugh Hefner, Spike TV, the GuyCon Awards, and it's coming up Sunday on Spike TV, different times in different places. And congratulations to you from all of us who fondly remember the Playboy Club on Central Avenue.
You're very kind, and thank you very, very much.
Hugh Hefner. I will always remember the moment when Hugh called me an old cat. I think I'm going to keep some part of this in my archives. Hugh Hefner on the Pat McMahon Show on AZTV. See you on Spike Television.